We are rolling. What's going on, my friends? Brian Hardy here, coming to you with a delicious video. Absolutely loaded with nutrition and goodness. And that is going to be my morning smoothie walkthrough. Now, this is currently what I'm doing. It's July 2020. This has taken many, many years of evolution, of trial and error, of fad diets, going heavily plant-based, going heavily low carb and ketogenic based, finding some benefit with most of these things, but not sustainability. And so where I'm at today for the morning smoothie is a lot of good fruit, not cold all the time and frozen. Although I did use frozen fruit for this, I'll get into that as we go. But it's easy to digest carbs. It is easy to digest protein. It is sometimes some fat, although I've trying to give my liver a bit of a break with the morning smoothie after years of like bulletproof coffee and high fat this and high fat that. It's just a lot of fat for the liver to process, and it's not very conducive in my experience to a high metabolic rate and good thyroid function, which currently is the main thing I am working for and tailoring my lifestyle and my nutrition and my supplementation towards is a history of hypothyroidism and some autoimmune conditions as well. So that's my experience. Those are the things that I struggle with: cold hands, cold feet, depression, foggy thinking. Those are the things that I struggle with, even if, and it's probably been, only my own fault to not share more of that in the past, and to want to appear as if I've got it all together and I'm doing great and so on, which is not the case. We all have our own challenges. And my body tends to run quite cold. And if you know anything about the thyroid and body temperature, even a tenth of a degree less than ideal, which is around 98, 98.6, I tend to come in around 97, 97.3 sometimes. Even a tenth of a degree is a huge impact on your body's ability to work on with its enzymes, to have its enzymes function properly, and to create energy. So if you feel sluggish, tired, like you're never fully there unless you are stressed, aka drinking caffeine or doing cold showers or doing really intense workouts, which I've been through all that. I've definitely been there. That's a sign that your body's metabolism is severely stressed. And so what do we give the body to help that? Things that warm it up and things that are easy to burn for fuel. So fruit is the name of the game. And I want to start off by saying, for many years, I used frozen fruit and cold ingredients to make a cold smoothie. And I would drink that, and sometimes it would feel like a lump in my guts. And other times I would feel tired, and I would feel like shivers. Like I'd be drinking this cold smoothie in the winter months, and I would literally give myself a chill after finishing it, which is just stupidity. If you understand Chinese medicine, they are completely against this kind of eating. They are always about warming the body, nourishing the energy, nourishing the chi, nourishing the kidneys, aka adrenals. So that's what I'm doing these days. And would invite you to research for yourself. This is all a self-experimentation. Of course, there are commonalities and characteristics that are universal, but it's really for you to see where you're at, what are your goals, what are you challenged by, and what works for you. So let's get into it. To start off, I start this smoothie by cooking my fruit. I don't know if you can see that. There we go. So that was some organic frozen banana, wild blueberries, cultivated wild blueberries, organic dark sweet cherries, and organic frozen mango. Now, there's probably 2.5, 3 cups total of fruit. A lot of that is berries, so those are fairly low glycemic if you're worried about sugar and carbs, which you really shouldn't be, unless you've got something else going on or you're missing a piece of the puzzle. But all that together, it's quite a bit of fruit. It's quite a bit of fruit. Now, I am a young man. I'm fairly active. I tend to need more fuel to fuel my body. So for me, it's going to work. So we're going to put all of that into the blender. But first, at the base of the blender, I'm going to put just a little bit, 2 pieces of fresh organic orange. That goes in. That's more for a bit of liquid because I don't like to thin these out. Another thing about keeping your digestion strong, excuse me, I'm very animated and activated after my morning practice. Another thing about keeping your digestion strong is not watering down your stomach acid and your digestive juices. So less is more when it comes to liquid around meals, especially the case with smoothies, because usually it's cold and it's a lot of ice or water. All of that dampens your digestive fire. It's the opposite of what we want to do. So unless you are like totally burning up, hyperthyroid, you're burning through all your weight, you can't stop eating, like that might be a case where you want to slow things down a bit. But most of us are not in that case. So orange goes in, ginger, chunks of ginger. I use about a thumb-sized piece of fresh organic ginger every morning. Again, for the metabolic digestion stimulating effects. So that goes in. Then goes in all of our fruit. Okay. So that's that. Fruits. To this, I'm going to add some sunflower lecithin. Now that is a phospholipid. It's kind of fat derived from sunflowers. You want non-GMO lecithin for certain. It's also present in dandelion flowers. It's also present in egg yolks. And the bottle gets very messy and sticky, so be aware if you're using the liquid. But that helps to emulsify things and help support the liver with the choline. Choline is it's classified sort of as a B vitamin, essential for liver health, essential to help decongest the liver, help with cell membrane integrity. It also adds a creaminess to soups or smoothies, which is why I love it. So that all goes in. And that is all that I put in to start. Then we do our first blend, and then we go and add in our protein and our more sensitive ingredients. So let's get to it. Okay, now that we've got our first blend and all the fruits are liquefied, now I'm going to add the more sensitive ingredients. So for me, I'm adding warming spices, some greens, and some protein, and a little bit of maca for the adaptogenic support. So we've got cardamom, organic cardamom, and you can put as much or as little as you like. I tend to like it pretty heavily flavored. So we got cardamom, we got cayenne. Another great thing if you're using cold ingredients, use the spices to warm them up. Tap into the Ayurvedic approach, which is using spices and cooking methods and preparation methods to change the quality of a food. So cayenne pepper, not too much of the cayenne pepper, just because it's very intense. More ginger, powdered ginger. I can't get enough ginger. Cinnamon, Ceylon cinnamon. This is just a jar, but it's Ceylon cinnamon. So that's for a little bit of blood sugar support, and it's just delicious. Definitely want the Ceylon cinnamon if you're using a lot of cinnamon, because it has less, I think it's coumaridin or coumadin, which is a potential liver toxin if you have too much of it. So if you're having, the cheap store-bought spicy cinnamon and you're having that a lot, it might be a bit stressful for your system. So that is in there. Next up, we do 1 teaspoon or so. You can do more. You can do a tablespoon. You can do 2 teaspoons. I'm doing about a teaspoon. This is organic red maca, the gelatinized version. I prefer gelatinized maca any day over raw. Easier to digest, and I think more bioavailable. Sea salt, crack of sea salt goes into the blender. Yes, yes. And then last but not least, this is just our current favorite protein. It's a Costco organic vegan protein. Fairly clean. Like I said, it's organic, and they only have xanthan gum for the binders. There's no other crazy gums or artificial sweeteners. And so, 1 scoop of this is 21 grams of protein. So I like to do about a scoop and a half. I'm looking for between 30 and 40 grams of protein with my breakfast to set my metabolism and satiate me for the next few hours. So that goes in as well. And then the last thing, which I used to do more frequently, and then got out of the habit of, is an extra greens supplement. So this is some barley grass juice powder. Very popular green. I'm putting 2 teaspoons of that. It does have a bit of a flavor, so be forewarned that you might need some extra stevia on hand to sweeten it up. But because this is mostly fruit, and sweet, delicious fruit, you're probably not going to notice it very much, especially with the spices and the protein, which is sweetened, vanilla, stevia. Then you're probably not going to notice much. And so this is what we're doing. And we're only going to blend this for a very, very, very short time. We just really want to mix these ingredients in. We don't want to destroy them with the high-speed blender. So that's that. That's that. I'm going to blend this up. Then we're going to plate it up, or pour it into a bowl rather, and we're going to enjoy it. So here we go. And I need my trusty blender spatula. You probably have one. I know when I had my BlendTech blender, which I still have, but I don't use it as frequently, they included an amazing spatula that was the perfect size and fit to get down into that blender cup. And yeah, I always really appreciated that. And if you have a BlendTech, you probably appreciate that too. That is that. Less is more when it comes to blending your sensitive ingredients. Now, let's give it a taste. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Now, I might go for a few more drops of stevia just because I like sweetness. The balance of the spice and the maca and the greens is quite nice. And that's really it. So this is really a warming, nutrient-dense, easy to digest kind of breakfast smoothie. Now, sometimes I would put some sprouted oats into this, or I would cook some oats and put them into this. Sometimes I would put some cashew milk or some macadamia nuts as a garnish, or some coconut flakes as a garnish, to add a little bit of fat and slow down the release of the sugars. But today I think we're going to keep it fairly simple and just do it like this. And yeah, let's get the pouring action going. And here we are, moment of truth. And you got to believe that all of those colors from the blueberries and the cherries, that's just pure nutrition right there. Like I said, you could put some nuts on top of this, some coconut flakes, but I wouldn't suggest putting a ton of them because they are inherently harder to digest, nuts and seeds of that matter, unless of course they are sprouted, which would be the best case scenario. I hope that you got something out of this morning smoothie extravaganza and that it inspires you to try new recipes and to try different ways to upgrade and optimize and enhance your own health, and do so in a delicious fashion. Again, my name is Brian Hardy. If you don't follow me already, do so at BrianHardy7 on Instagram. Subscribe to this channel. Give me a like. Let me know what you appreciated. Let me know any questions you might have, and I will catch you in the next video. Until then, be well, stay healthy, and enjoy this gift of a day. Much love.